don't know about you, but I got to be honest with you. What we've seen in the past couple of weeks after FAMU won the HBCU National Championship in the Celebration Bowl, we saw a lot of cheering going on. Everybody happy and excited about everything that's happening with the program. They're looking at things to continue to keep moving higher and higher. FAMU Rattlers is going to repeat. That's all you keep hearing. We can stand on business because we coming back again to go ahead and let everybody know we're going to hoist that trophy up one more time. And then comes down. Then the next thing that happens, they lose their head football coach. And now after that, now we got all of the chaos that's going on and nobody understands exactly what's happening. Well, they understand what's happening, but they're not trying to stand for it. But you know what? While everybody is sitting back looking at what FAMU is doing, Alabama State is saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and continue to keep building. We're going to do what we need to do to go ahead and put some things in place so that next season we're going to be that one to possibly be in that number that's going to be there at the end, that's going to raise that trophy up saying we the champs. We're going to get into it right after this. You know it's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos, and tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. Because they're like, Coach, what's on your mind? What you got going on? What's your thoughts on all of this? I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at everything that's going on with FAMU right now, it kind of feels like that cousin. You know, that cousin that's, you know, you real tight with. You know, you and your cousin, y'all sitting at your granny house and y'all making them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and, you know, it ain't much bread left. Matter of fact, there's only like 2 pieces of bread left and then you got the hill. Y'all remember that back in the day when you had the hill bread? And a lot of times people didn't want to eat that hill bread. So what we ended up doing was say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and split the sandwich in half. So we cut the sandwich in half. We sitting there, we talking and we communicating and all these things. And then as time go on, you know, the summer get ready to come to an end. Everybody got to get ready to go back to school. And guess what? You're not going to see that cousin every day like you're accustomed to seeing all the time. And they're going to move on. They're going to move on. They got to go do what they got to do as far as with going back to school, whatever have you. And then you might see them during the holidays or maybe on a weekend or two, so on and so forth, depending upon what the schedule look like. Well, now you got head coach Willie Simmons. He's going to Duke. And now the latest report, you got this man here, man, with his recruiting. Coach Express is now leaving FAMU to go to Colorado. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Deion Sanders said he wanted to win the Big 12. With this young man out there on the recruiting trails, looking to bring those athletes into the program, he might be on to something now, especially now that not necessarily win the Big 12, but he's looking to win the national championship. Excuse me. Let me make sure I preface that correctly, because I know it's going to be some Coach Prime fans that talk. He didn't say just the Big 12. He said the daggone national championship. Coach, get your crap together. Hey, look, bro. My apologies, but having Coach come over there from FAMU, looking at the athletes that he was able to bring in before head coach Willie Simmons decided he was going to move on and go to Duke, I'm sitting there scratching my head like, man, they brought some athletes into the program, especially some athletes that head coach Deion Sanders have been looking to get into the program, which they need some linemen. They got a lot of athletes over there, but they need some linemen. I ain't talking about some linemen that, you know, listen, I call them retreads. What I mean by retreads is that they were okay over here, they were serviceable over there, but they really wasn't them dogs that's going to get out there and punch you in your mouth, making sure you open up them lanes for the running backs to run the ball. They got to run the ball this season. I mean, if you want to win, you definitely going to have to go ahead and change some things up and get that running game popping out there for the Buffaloes to do anything. So if you ain't running the ball and you got Shador Sanders standing back there in that pocket getting sacked 50-plus times again this upcoming season, guess what? That's shame on y'all. Y'all heard it from Coach first. I'm going to leave it alone. But looking at all of these changes that's going on, I mean, you got to ask yourself the question, what in the world is going on? I mean, when you get a vote of no confidence, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. I'm like, looking at what Vice President / Athletic Director Tiffany Sykes was able to do prior to coming to FAMU, I want to say her specialty was APR, was making sure that the athletes come in there and they have they get their books and stuff together so that there's no APR issues going on. So we're going to sit back and wait and see if there's an APR issue that's getting ready to rear its ugly head. That the reason why now we start to see a lot of scattering and things going on with a lot of different people and so on and so forth. Like I said before, guys, I don't want to see none of these HBCUs, crumble and go, below the threshold as far as things that we know that they're able to do. I want to see everybody out there week in and week out. We got some daggone good games going on. Everybody out there competing and doing what they need to do. And then not only that, but, I'm looking at, too, what's going on with Coach Gibbs. Coach Gibbs from over at Fort Valley State University. That's my other son goes to that school as well. So we know a little bit about Coach Gibbs, especially he coached over at North Carolina A&T when they were winning over there at North Carolina A&T. They were winning the national championship year in and year out. He got an athlete. He got, matter of fact, the young man, Emmanuel, I forgot, is it Emmanuel Wilson? He got that young man into the NFL as a running back from Fort Valley. They've had several athletes come through that program thus far in the past couple of years that have been able to get their shot to go play in the NFL. So I'm like, this man, not only that, but he's winning. He went 8-2 one year, 8-3 the next year. I'm like, guys, come on, y'all. I mean, y'all are really crucifying this man. And I'm like, he's a winning coach. I get it. I did say myself that I can see how FAMU, and that was according to it, what everybody was saying online, that they wanted to see someone from inside get the job. I got all of that. But right now, we got to look at what's really going on here. You're losing coaches. You're losing athletes, and now you're losing coach. And I'm thinking that there's one more that's ready to bust a move. I'm waiting on him to drop that first. I've already heard who it's going to be, but I'm going to wait on him to put that out there before I go ahead and speak on it. Because, again, he could have a change of heart as far as I know. But I'm just saying, looking at what's going on right now with FAMU, the athletic director, and as I stated before, is going to take the hit because of the fact that she has to make the call to bring the new head coach into the program. FAMU, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to say this now. I don't know if anybody's said it to you yet, but they could bring Bill Belichick in that program right now, and I don't think anybody would be happy. Because regardless of the fact, if it's somebody in-house, somebody outside the house that comes into that program, and if they do not live up to the standards that head coach Willie Simmons put forth for that program, it's just going to be a house of cards that's just going to crumble. I'm just being honest with you guys. I mean, y'all might sit back and say, Coach, you full of crap. I almost said the S word, but you're going to be like, Coach, you full of crap. No, it ain't going to be like that. You got to, look, everything that we do in life, we always want to see something go the way that we want it to go. But until we get into those rough waters where we gotta fight through and get through the rough times, we don't understand what we really had till it's gone. In this instance, AD Sykes is here. She's trying to put this together. I mean, had a phenomenal year with this her first year in. I mean, won a couple of championships, won a couple of SWAC championships. I mean, now she's faced with having to do the daunting task of bringing a new head football coach to the program. So we're going to see how that's going to work. But guys, we're not going to stay on that. Like I said, I had to touch on that because it's just this whole thing is just really, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's taxing, man. Seeing this go on, because you never imagine you'll see someone get crucified like this in this space like she is. I mean, don't get it twisted. This kind of takes me back to the volleyball coach that was over at Grambling. I'm just sitting here shaking my head like, hey, I mean, what can you do? I'm like, at the end of the day, if you don't move the way people want you to move, then they're mad. I mean, I get it. It's either we stuck. I mean, like I said, I had to go back and rewatch my video again just to get some clarity as far as, all right, coach, you said this. You know, what's your real thoughts on all of this? And I'm just like, can't keep standing in the middle of the road with it. You got to just, hey, look, bro, this is what's happening. We need to get an understanding of what exactly is it that you want. Do anybody out there really know what they want in a head football coach? What's the coach that they bring in there is the coach that you want, and you guys have a crappy season? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, and that's just real. But we're going to move from there. We're going to talk about this other thing. like I stated before, Alabama State Hornets, they sitting back quiet. They watching everything take off and go as far as what's happening right now in the SWAC in their building. Alabama State University head coach Eddie Robinson Jr., he understands also well. This is his third year going into this thing. Every year they have been able to win an additional game. I think last season, was it season before last, it was 65. This season, they 7-4. Next season, it looks like they're trying to go compete for a SWAC championship. The Hornets have a new offensive coordinator and Coach Chris Barnett, who coached at Winston Salem State University last season, in which his offense averaged 26.4 points per game. Crazy thing is, they were ranked third in offense in the CIAA last year. Now, he will be without the services of quarterback, the transfer quarterback from UAB last season, Damon Stewart. He decided to take his talents and go into the transfer portal. That young man threw 11 games, threw the ball 200 times, completing 129 for 1,655 yards, 5 interceptions, and 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So they're going to be without that. They're going to be without that piece out there on the field that can run that offense. And not only that, you got Keshawn Johnson and a couple of other athletes that was on that Alabama State's offense as well as their defense that's leaving to move on and go do different things as far as with playing in different programs. There were some other athletes that did jump into the transfer portal. But I'm speaking of Keshawn Johnson because he was on that offense. He was the #1 receiver on the team for the Hornets last season. I mean, you put that ball up anywhere in the vicinity of where he's at, he's going to catch that ball. It was like it was automatic for him to come down with a pass. The other biggest question on the Hornets offensive side of the ball is QB1 Demetrius Davis. Is this young man still going to be on the roster come next season, or if he's going to move on? Because remember, he was injured last season. And not only that, but the offense that they had structured was more so a run-first type offensive squad last season. So wondering if looking at how Coach Barnett's offense is set up, coming from Winston-Salem State to Alabama State University, they were run heavy as well. So it leads me to believe that this offense that's going to be set up this upcoming season is going to be predicated pretty much on the same thing as what they did last season, which is run the ball, and they're going to try to scheme things a little bit differently than how they had them before. You got to give head coach Robinson his props as far as we're trying to get everything in place. The $1 million question is, who's going to be QB1 off season that Alabama State under head coach Eddie Robinson has lost their starting signal caller. So we're going to see how all of that plays out. Also, talking about quarterbacks, hey, I posted on my Twitter page, on my Twitter handle. Hey, seeing it, I got an Andrew Body site, and I'm trying to find out what's going on. This young man looks like he's been working out, getting himself together as far as what he preparing his body for, wherever it is that he's looking to take his talents to and continue to keep playing collegiate football. This young man he started out having a great season. Unfortunately, he kind of re-injured himself in that first game against PV last season when he was over at Texas Southern. The young man dropped back almost 50 times in that game. I think he threw the ball 38 times, and he rushed the ball for another 10 times, of which he had multiple interceptions in that game. I think the young man threw for over 300 yards. But those interceptions that he had in the game was critical to Texas Southern not beating PV in that game, in which Coach did state whoever won that game between PV and Texas Southern last season was going to be the one that come out of the West. Who came out of the West? PV. But I say all of that to say that Andrew Body is definitely looking like he's a young man possessed, making sure that he has his body ready to get out there and compete this upcoming season, wherever it is that he lands. But I would say this young man is definitely gearing to definitely shake this thing up a little bit, because if you don't know by now, this young man is landing at Alabama State University. He's going to be the next starting quarterback for the Alabama State Hornets football team. It's going to be something to see who's going to be that starting quarterback between him and Demetrius Davis. I'm wondering just how bad of an injury did Davis have last season as far as getting himself ready to come out there and compete. The one thing that has always made me wonder about Davis himself is that he hasn't been able to stay healthy since he's been at Alabama State University. But what I would like to see is everyone talked about how electrifying this young man was coming into the SWAC, coming into Alabama State from Auburn University and how well he played in high school. I'm waiting to see how well this young man's talents, the talent that he has or had when he was in high school, I'm waiting to see it transition on the collegiate level to see exactly what this young man can do. Can he get out there and ball? I absolutely believe he can do just that, but we need to see it. We need to see exactly how dedicated he is to making sure that things are in place so that he can get out there and run the offense in the manner which he needs to. But congratulations to Andrew Body on deciding where he wants to continue his collegiate football career. He's going to do that over at Alabama State University. I wish that young man nothing but the best. Go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.